All right, so thank you guys so much for tuning in for today. My name is Madison Yen. This is my blog, Branding Through Photography. Welcome back. We are on episode 4. Yay! So, yes, last week we talked about the mindset and showing up in front of the camera, being there, getting used to the way that you look on screen, on photo, and, just kind of doing it more, practicing and getting more comfortable and just being aware, being body positive and aware. Those are all the things. That's the main topic from last week. And to kind of piggyback off of last week onto this week, we're going to talk about flattering angles. Okay, so obviously you want to start with give yourself like the most help that you possibly can. And so obviously you don't want to start with like the worst photos of yourself ever, because it's depressing and then you won't want to take anymore. So let's help it out. And here are a few tips that I have come up with to help you with that. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to talk a little bit about posing. I have a posing guide that you're more than welcome to download. I will drop the link below for you to check it out. But yeah, so I'm just going to kind of briefly go over it, but that one is a lot more in depth, and it also comes with a video. So if you're more a video person, then you can watch that, or it comes with a PDF so you can read it. So we'll talk briefly about posing, and then we are going to talk about camera angle, and then we're going to talk really briefly about lighting. Okay? So, posing. Now, I think the most important part for photos, especially like waist up, is the chin. Okay, and the chin, I think a really sensitive spot for a lot of people is like if they have a double chin, or they feel like their face kind of looks larger. So this will really help with that. What I want you to do is practice sticking your chin out towards the camera. Okay, and now you don't want it so far out that your neck is straining and you got like these weird lines right here, but you do want it out long enough where, in stretching your neck out, you kind of stretch out all the things that are hanging out in the chin area. So you know what I'm talking about. So just stick it out a little bit. That's really nice. You'll want to work on that. It's just a little bit. You don't like, almost like you're more engaged. Like you're like leaning in a little bit. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. So that's the idea for photos, is you want to look more engaged. You want to look like you're more interested. And when you stick your chin out, your face is coming closer to the camera. And this, I kind of touched on this last week, I think, where, the closer you are to the camera, whatever's closest to the camera is going to be the biggest, and then everything else is going to be a little bit smaller. So your face is going to be closest to the camera, and that'll be the largest, and then, your body will start getting smaller because it's further away, and especially the neck, the chin area. So it just kind of helps create a little bit more separation. And then it kind of you just kind of fade away, I mean, not really, like, it's not like a crazy thing. It's just nice. It's a nice little softening thing. So yes, we'll start with sticking out the chin, all right? And then obviously you can kind of tilt down a little bit. The only thing that I want to caution you is if you're shooting from above, which we're going to talk about this in a second, and you're having to like look up, I don't want too much white spot on the bottom of the eyes, because that looks kind of weird. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Keep in mind, like, you're going to want to practice all of it, but just know where your camera is and like what you can realistically naturally do where it doesn't look weird. Okay, so yeah, you can start if doing it down, out and down is hard for you, to start down and then stick it out. That makes it a little bit easier. So it'd be something like that. I kind of do like a little head tilt with it. You don't want to be like that, but I don't know. I like a little head tilt with it. Not too much, nothing crazy. But yeah, you can turn left and right, and you can go up, middle, to the left, and then you can go straight on. And it just makes like a little difference. It's kind of nice. It gives you a little bit more engaged. It kind of makes my collarbone stick out. Like, you can't really see through the shirt, but it kind of makes my collarbone stick out a little bit, which the creepy side of me, like the side that really wants to be skinny, like, likes that. So anyway, the next part I want to briefly talk about are the shoulders. Okay, so just like doing a little perky shoulder thing it really makes a difference. Again, it helps with the collarbone. It kind of comes out here. And then once you stick out the chin, it's just a nice like little, like you just look more engaged. This is like slouchy, like you're like, what's going on? And then this is more like engaged, perky. You're coming closer to the camera. You got like a little shoulder up. It's almost like you're a little flirty, okay? So those are the two main tips for posing that I want to talk about. Add in the shoulders. Obviously, if you want to minimize the shoulders, I'm sitting straight on from you right now, so that's not going to minimize. If you turn one in front or the other in front, that's a whole new story, okay? So now you're kind of like, you're taking your shoulder width, that would be this long, and you're turning it, which is making it diagonal, which is changing it. So it's going to be this wide instead. So does that make sense? Yeah, so those are my main posing tips. Just practice a couple out, check it out. Let me know what questions you have. I'll drop that posing guide below so you can check that out too if you want to find more tips for that. Now let's talk a little bit about the camera angle, okay? So, I've got my phone here. Say I'm doing like a selfie video or a selfie photo. Okay, now naturally how we look at it is like the phone is below, we're looking down, so already that's creating a double chin. And then we're shooting up, okay? Now, again, like we talked about with the camera, with your face being closer, so that's gonna be the largest part, the closest object to the camera is gonna appear the largest, okay? So for this right here, that would be my chin, which we don't want that, all right? So we don't want this angle because it's just gonna like straight up chin, you see that, and then you'll see the face, and then it's like looking up the nose. Don't shoot from this angle, okay? Please don't. At the very least, shoot straight on, okay? But if you want to minimize the face a little bit, all right, start a little bit higher, maybe like forehead, eyebrow range, and then tilt down, okay? So, and you can play with it on how high it needs to be. Now, what this does is it makes your forehead appear larger, and then the chin will go like a little, like this whole area will be like a little bit lower. And then also by shooting at this angle, depending on your light source, it will, the shadow will cast a light from your neck and chin, and it'll kind of like cover this area. Or the shadow, like you hit the light and then a shadow will cast from the chin down onto your neck. That's what I mean. So then that kind of covers up some area. That's really nice, very helpful. We're going to talk about that a little bit more with lighting. Yeah, so just kind of play with this. Obviously you don't want to be like all the way up here because that looks weird. And it's too much. Like, where did your body go? Because your face is like up here. And so give yourself a little bit of context. And up here is nice. It kind of just gets upper body and then a little bit of this area, and then it's just got a nice flattering angle. So you'll really want to focus from top down a little bit, and not from below, and then not too high. So that's the camera angle. Practice the camera angle. Practice your selfies. Tag me, send it to me. I will critique and I will applaud you, all the things. Yes, okay, and then lastly, let's talk really briefly about lighting, okay? First things first, I think side light is very attractive. It creates like some nice shadows. So the other day when I shot for my coffee cup and I was alongside the windows, that was side lit, and that was nice. I think it's attractive. And if you remember, I'll throw another photo up so you can remember, or so you can use as a reference. But it covered, or like this whole side of my face was in shadow. So really, if you're worried about the neck, if you're worried about just, you kind of want your face to look a little bit like thinner, then a side light might be a really nice option, because one side of your face is lit, the other one is like really quickly going into shadow. So I would recommend trying that out. Right now, in this current light that I'm in, I am front lit, okay? So that's meaning that the windows are right behind the camera, they're right in front of me, and they're just coming straight on to me. So, pretty much I'm even It's not like one side or the other. It's just, it is what it is. Okay. So it's very straight on, straightforward. You know, there's pros and cons to frontlit. It's a little boring, but it gets the job done. So you kind of just need to decide what you want to do. Also, I'm sitting down on the ground and the windows are higher than me. So already the light source is a little higher. And that's what is helping create like this shadow over from my chin onto my neck. So that's another thing. If you want shadows like below, under here, then the light needs to come up higher. Okay, so that was a really basic beginner, session on window light. Let's start with window light. We will not be adding other lights in until we kind of figure out what's going on, what's doing all those things. So yes, that is where I'm going to stop today. I want to keep it quick enough for you to actually understand what's going on and to incorporate some of these into your photos. I would love to see your photos. And feel free to join our Facebook group where we're posting these photos. Okay, so like we want to practice how to shoot something. Join the group and we'll brainstorm, we'll critique, we'll talk about new ideas, all the things. I'll drop a link below for this too. It's called Branding Through Photography on Facebook. It's an open group, free, and it's for business owners. So join us there. If you like the video, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for next week. So I'll talk to you guys soon.